Hey everyone, welcome to today's exciting show. The week before Mr. Butter, the Simla agreement was a big disappointment for India, but this decision, it also shows Indira's pragmatism. She seemed to know true political victory isn't just winning wars. It's also about building lasting peace, but this complex diplomatic game often gets misunderstood in the political stage. This planted seeds for future political storms. Winning the war gave Indira a huge boost to her reputation. As domestic issues mounted, the 1973 oil crisis stirred trouble, sparking India's inflation and worsening its economy. Around this time, the opposition was getting louder with corruption charges against India's government. In 1974, India was buzzing with nationwide railway worker strikes, with union leaders shouting, "We're not working until we get our pay. Those trains are just running over our rights. We'd rather go to jail." With nationwide transport at a standstill, the Indira government faced serious challenges, so she decided to time sell. Yet the economic and political crises kept unrolling. Opposition leader J. Prakash Narayan launched a movement demanding political reform. As public sentiment surged, Indira found herself in deeper trouble. The Allahabad High Court started hearing cases related to the 1970 election irregularities. The court eventually ruled that Indira engaged in electoral misconduct, declaring her victory. It banned her from elections for 6 years, an unprecedented humiliation for a PM. Indira thought she'd win her defense. Yet her court performance was disappointing. Asked about complex legal issues, she said, "I'm busy, I can't understand this legal jargon." A bamboo shoot response drew scorn from opposing counsel, eroding her prestige, with the opposition demanding her resignation. The party hierarchy began weighing new leadership options, and in this crisis moment, Indira's son Sanjay Gandhi stood firmly by her side. When he saw his forcibly dethroned mother facing mockery from the cabinet alone, Sanjay burst forth, accusing the cabinet seniors of injustice. He wanted to reclaim the power that belonged to his mother, but the reality was, aside from him, nobody in the cabinet was willing to stand alongside her. All of this struck Indira as quite funny. She had fought the entire world for these people, to summon peace, and now it had turned into a dagger aimed at her. Meanwhile, the opposition began celebrating their victory loudly, which felt particularly ironic to Indira. If fate was being unfair, why not learn to turn the tables herself? Before the real elections began, everything seemed to hold the potential for a comeback, and her fate was to join forces with Sanjay and impose a state of emergency, smothering democracy and plunging the nation into turmoil. The state of emergency marked the dark days of Indian democracy, turning India overnight into a prison, with opposition leaders being arrested. The media faced strict censorship, and any voice criticizing the government was swiftly silenced. Civil liberties were severely restricted, as police conducted nighttime raids, dragging opposition leaders out of their homes, waiting for the endless beatings and torture. Our son Sanjay, despite having no official position, held immense power, becoming the ghost of the state of emergency. Sanjay implemented a slew of controversial policies, including a vibrant urban beautification campaign and a nationwide compulsory sterilization program, and this place just stank. I'm telling you, it was worse than a sewer, not at all like London or Manhattan. It should be more like this. Come on, hurry up and get things cleaned up. Sanjay coolly ordered the suppression of any dissent, but the cries and protests from residents got buried in the chaos. A democratic policy faced harsh suppression. Amid chaos, a boy named Ashok was crushed. His mother, overcome with despair, tightly clutched her deceased son's lifeless body, sobbing inconsolably, and inadvertently initiated a wave of friendship. At that moment, a bold idea popped into Sanjay's mind. Instead of letting these poor folks drag down India's living standards, why not tackle the problem at its root and lower India's notoriety? Under his orders, male sterilization soon became common, angering men across India. Millions of men took to the streets protesting, and Sanjay had already anticipated this, proposing punishments for those who refused. Rewards would be granted to those who voluntarily underwent the surgery, while those who were reluctant would face severe punishments. Thus, the Great Organ Massacre officially commenced. To quickly tackle this crisis of reputation, the entire Indian military mobilized, sending unwilling men to the operating table. Even underage boys weren't spared this year, and cries of anguish echoed all over India. Subtitles: the massive surgery scale demanded huge resources. Sanjay suggested in areas without anesthesia, they could just go for a cold turkey, one knife and done. This ongoing process led to numerous male deaths, leaving many helpless against Sanjay's orders. Subtitles: Indira opted to pretend not to see any of this. and amidst this enormous operation, a staggering 8 million men were dispatched to sterilization tables. Supposition intensified. Her friend people warned her, "You better listen. There are all sorts of lies flying around here, both true and false." Her internal struggle became increasingly evident. She often experienced hallucinations, glaring at the horrific image of herself in the mirror. She asked a servant nearby, "Who's that?" "Only you can see what's in the mirror." This scene symbolized her ongoing battle with her own conscience. She was still attempting to comprehend the harm that the state of emergency had caused to both the country and herself, inadvertently involving countless people in deaths. She confided in a close friend, the renowned scholar Krishnamurti, who happened to give her an important piece of advice. "When you can see through flattery, it's time to search for the truth." The inner struggle and external advice ultimately compelled her to make a shocking decision. On January 18, 1977, she abruptly announced an end to the emergency, freed all political prisoners, and set a national election within 2 months. This decision shocked everyone, including her son Sanjay, while lifted the emergency measures to call for elections.